very good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Before we take you through what made news through the day, Rajya Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the ongoing pandemic. And now let's get you the headlines of the day. With a productivity of 99%, first part of 253rd session of Rajya Sabha ends. The upper house passed 3 bills, concluded discussions on motion of thanks to the President's address and the general budget. Opposition creating false narrative that the government works for cronies. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman replies to discussion in Rajya Sabha, asserts budget is for Atmanirbhar Bharat. The government respects honest taxpayers, will utilize their money properly. Trinamool Congress leader Dinesh Trivedi announces his resignation from Rajya Sabha. Tells the House that he is saddened by the violent incidents in West Bengal. Defence Ministry condemns misleading media reports on Ladakh. Asserts India has not conceded any territory in its agreement with China. BJP President JP Nadda accuses Congress leader Rahul Gandhi of insulting the armed forces. And the second dose of coronavirus vaccine to be administered from tomorrow. Nearly 78 lakh people vaccinated across the country so far. The Rajya Sabha was adjourned today till the 8th of March as the first part of the budget session came to an end. The second part of the session will begin on the 8th of March and conclude on the 8th of April. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said that the House recorded 99% productivity in the first leg of the budget session. He also informed that the House clocked 113% productivity during this week and 82% in the first week.
I'm happy to inform you that this part of the session has been quite productive with the House clocking 99% productivity. The productivity of the House during this week has been 113%, as against the productivity of 82% during the first week, as against the total scheduled time of 45 hours, 4 minutes, net of only 30 minutes have been lost due to disruptions. This part of the session has been one of the debate and discussions with a total of 27 hours and 11 minutes, accounting for over 60% of the total functional time spent on discussing motion of thanks to the President and the general budget for 21-22. About 100 members spoke on these two subjects alone, as against the total loss of 4 hours 24 minutes during the first week. The members sat for an extra 3 hours 54 minutes during the second week.
In the first half of the budget session, 88 issues of public importance were raised. These include 56 0R and 32 special mentions. 55 starred questions were orally answered. 3 bills were passed by the upper house, including Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Amendment Bill 2021, the National Capital Territory of Delhi Laws Special Provisions Second Amendment Bill 2021, and the Major Port Authorities Bill 2020. Adjourning the upper house till the 8th of March, Chairman Naidu appealed to the members to attend all standing committee meetings.
We still have to go for the second part. I only appeal to the members not to miss any standing committee meetings. Please see to it that you attend all the standing committee meetings and make contribution also.
Before the House was adjourned till the 8th of March, the Finance Minister replied to the general discussion on the Union Budget 2021-22 in the Upper House. She said that the budget aims to provide a strong stimulus to the economy instead of quick short-term solutions. The Finance Minister hit back at the opposition, saying they are creating a false narrative that the budget is for the cronies. She also said that from free food grains, gas to building roads and houses have been for the poor, and this has been done effectively by the government.
In spite of the various steps, obviously seen steps taken for helping the poor and needy of this country, a false narrative is created to accuse, saying, oh, this government works only for cronies. I just want to come up with some details before I get into some of the details in the budget to say, houses completed under PM Awas Yojana, sir, more than 1.67 crore houses have been completed. Is that for the rich? Households which have been electrified under Saubhagya since 2017 October is more than 2.67 crores. Is that for the rich? Total value of orders placed on government e-marketplace is 8,22,077 crore, which is more than 8 trillion of rupees. Are they being given to big companies? They are being given to MSMEs. So we have helped out small and medium companies to ensure themselves getting a market. Is that for the rich and the big capitalists? This government's efforts with credible proof of who the beneficiaries are, which are the major schemes, and therefore when the budgetary provisions are made, it is made for the poor, Dalits, tribals, and the students who need desperately all the benefits. And therefore, if you want to speak out, Ujjwala Yojana benefited how many women? And we've extended it to 1 more crore women for whom that Ujjwala will be delivered.
Is an instrument to attain Atmanirbhar Bharat and is based on the principles of development, growth and reform. She also said that the Atmanirbhar Bharat budget represents the aspiration of 130 crore Indians.
It's a budget which clearly draws on the experience, the administrative capacities, and also the exposure that the Prime Minister has had during his long elected tenure, both as Chief Minister and as Prime Minister of this country, known for his commitment towards development, growth and reform. So these three things are essentially infused in the budget, which is now speaking for itself in the sense it is the instrument through which Atmanirbhar Bharat is to be attained.
The Finance Minister stated that Prime Minister Modi-led government has removed all ills from the Manrega scheme and also spent the highest ever amount, that is about 90,500 crore rupees so far this fiscal under the scheme. She also went on to assert that lakhs of farmers are connected with e-NAM and are today benefiting from it. She also listed the measures taken by the government for the MSMEs during the pandemic.
Number of farmers registered on e-NAM, sir, approximately 1.69. e-NAM was thanks entirely due to the Prime Minister's effort to make sure that the farmers are connected all over the country and he's not constricted by the local markets. If he has opportunities better anywhere else, he should have it. Are these farmers rich corporate farmers? No, not at all. They are the small farmers. Number of farmers registered, sir, under PM Fasal Bima Yojana, almost 9 crore farmers. Farmers who benefit out of Fasal Bima Yojana are not large corporate farmers. So, when you allege us, saying you're not taking care of small and medium-sized farmers, Prime Minister, while standing and speaking in response to the debate on presidential address, spoke extensively about small farmers. And I want to remind you of this number. which is the number which benefits from PM Fasal Bima Yojana. For whom is that? Loans sanctioned under Mudra Yojana. More than 27,000 crores have gone under the Mudra Yojana.
48 members cutting across party lines participated in the general discussion of the union budget. Let's listen in.
अगर फिर बैंकों को देने की बात करिए तो नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार, पीसीए फ्रेमवर्क से बाहर लाई तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार। अरे किसी भी विषय पर, किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट पर आप चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार होइए। हर क्षेत्र में देश को आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार ने, और दुनिया में भारत का मान सम्मान बढ़ाया तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार ने। यही नहीं,
कितनी देर बोल रहा है?
मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं,
आज कितनी देर बोल रहे हैं?
ऐसी क्या बात थी कि आपकी सरकार में एक के बाद दूसरा घोटाला आता था? डॉक्टर साहब ईमानदार व्यक्ति थे, लेकिन जो नीचे सारे थे उनकी बात तो देखिए, एक के बाद दूसरा, दूसरे के बाद तीसरा, तीसरे के बाद चौथा।
It merely provided a remedy for the struggling economy. The sectors with huge appetite such as education, health, agriculture, defense have received comparatively lesser funds, most astonishingly, sir. And the primary concerns for the growth of the country, unemployment and inequality, have gone out of focus. Most importantly, there has been no announcement of sector-specific revival packages for ailing sectors like telecommunication, power, construction, mining, aviation and travel, tourism and hospitality.
Giving welfare pension of 1,600 per month to 49 lakh pensioners with a direct transfer benefit of 30,743 crores, sir. Price stability for commercial crops not considered. Even though 1,000 crore were allotted for the welfare of tea workers, Assam and West Bengal, Kerala is totally ignored, sir. Kerala produces 60 million odd kilograms of tea every year and is ranked 4th in India. Kerala's demand for Trivandrum-Kasaragod semi-high-speed rail project, setting off aims.
The market model, it fails everywhere. Everywhere. Including America, it fails. When the people were starving to death without medicines even in the US, the heaven of the capitalism, the government was helpless. People were dying. There is no need to tell about that. That model is a failed model. But this government is blindly following it.
किसान अपने ढेरों दुखों का दुखड़ा, किसान अपने ढेरों दुखों का दुखड़ा सरकार आपके द्वार फोड़ता है। मजदूर अभी भी पत्थर तोड़ता है। पूंजीपति आपके साथ दौड़ता है, मजे करता है। रह गए वह जो मेरे भारत का नारा लगाते हैं, रह गए वो जो कहते हैं जय जवान जय किसान। उसे आप कहते हो तेरे लिए कुछ नहीं, तुम तो दाल रोटी खाओ, प्रभु के गुण गाओ, आत्मनिर्भर इनके पाले नहीं पड़ता।
स्वास्थ्य में खर्च किया है तो केवल वो स्वास्थ्य के साथ वेलनेस भी है। इस देश की स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं में इस देश के हेल्थ और वेलनेस को मिलाकर के जो बजट को आगे बढ़ाने का काम सरकार ने किया है, मेरे को लगता है कि बजट ने वो बुनियाद रखी है कि आने वाले समय की हमारी पब्लिक पॉलिसी में हेल्थ में पब्लिक गुड्स को सुधारने का जो काम है, उस तरफ इस सरकार ने एक बड़ा कदम उठाया है।
जो डलहौजी न कर सका वो ये हुक्काम कर देंगे, जो डलहौजी न कर सका वो ये हुक्काम कर देंगे, और कमीशन दे दो तो हिंदुस्तान को नीलाम कर देंगे। ये बजट हिंदुस्तान को नीलाम करने का, देश को बेचने का, देश की संपत्तियों को बेचने का बजट है।
12 lakh new cases per year of cancer are coming up in India. 25 are presently prevalent all over India. And out of this, 5.5 lakh deaths are happening on cancer patients every year. We have just now seen 1,50,000 in COVID. And here 5.5 लाख लोग कैंसर से हर साल मर रहे हैं, जिनको कि हम नोट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, जो कि कंटिन्यूअस चल रहा है, बढ़ रहा है. It is increasing every year.
Trinamool Congress MP Dinesh Trivedi resigned from Rajya Sabha on Friday. He made the announcement while participating in the discussion on the union budget. Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh said there is a due process for resigning from the House and asked Trivedi to submit his resignation in writing to the chairman.
मेरी आत्मा की आवाज आज ये कह रही है और वो स्वामी विवेकानंद जो कहते थे अराइज अवेक एंड स्टॉप नॉट टिल द गोल इज रीच, तो आज मुझे आत्मा ये कह रही है कि यहाँ बैठे बैठे यदि आप चुपचाप रहो और कुछ नहीं कह सकते हो, उससे अच्छा है कि यहाँ से आप त्याग पत्र दो और जाके बंगाल की भूमि में
इसके लिए ड्यू प्रोसेस है। माननीय चेयरमैन साहब को
कहता हूँ, मैं आज यहाँ से इस्तीफा दे रहा हूँ और देश के लिए, बंगाल के लिए हमेशा हमेशा जिस प्रकार
लिए भी एक ड्यू प्रोसेस है। माननीय चेयरमैन साहब को आप लिखित दें, माननीय चेयरमैन साहब को आप लिखित दें, इसके लिए ड्यू प्रोसेस है।
And the Lok Sabha will convene at 10 a.m. instead of the usual 4 p.m. on Saturday. Speaker Om Birla announced the new timing in the House on Friday after the question hour. The Rajya Sabha had been meeting at 9 a.m. due to COVID-19 distancing norms amid the pandemic outbreak, while the Lok Sabha had been meeting at 4 p.m. Since the first leg of the Rajya Sabha session on the budget ended on Friday, hence the Lok Sabha will be able to meet in the morning session. Meanwhile, the Lok Sabha passed the Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Bill on Friday. The bill grants unconditional stay of enforcement of arbitral awards where the underlying arbitration agreement, contracts or arbitral award is induced by fraud or corruption. Speaking in Lok Sabha, Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said the bill seeks to make India a big hub for international and domestic arbitration. After the Parliament's approval, the bill will replace the ordinance brought in November by the government. And the Lok Sabha also passed the Major Port Authority Bill 2020 with certain amendments. The bill was passed by Lok Sabha on the 23rd of September 2020 and then sent to Rajya Sabha for its concurrence. The Rajya Sabha passed the bill with amendments at its sitting held on the 10th of February 2021 and returned it to Lok Sabha on the same day. The bill seeks to provide greater autonomy in decision-making to 12 major ports in the country. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday stressed that the principle of moderation should inform the use of social media in order to avoid controversies. He said social media platforms should not become theatres of war. In an informal interaction with some media persons at the end of the first part of the budget session of Rajya Sabha, Chairman Naidu said the House clocked nearly 100% productivity in the 2-week period. He also noted that led by the Prime Minister, the upper house saw an upsurge of positivity from both sides at the farewell for 4 retiring members of the House, including leader of the opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad. Referring to 100th anniversary of direct elections to the central and provincial legislatures in 1920, Chairman Naidu emphasized that democracy is all about discussion. He also said it calls for moderation on all issues, be it social media or the farmers' agitation. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday met the newly elected Rajya Sabha MPs of the BJP and wished them the very best for their parliamentary innings. Former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi, Arun Singh and Neeraj Shekhar were among the MPs who met the Prime Minister on Friday. The Defence Ministry has said that India has not conceded any territory as a result of an agreement with China. The response came hours after Congress leader Rahul Gandhi claimed that the government has ceded some territory to the Chinese. The ministry said, on the contrary, it has enforced observance and respect for the line of actual control and prevented any unilateral change in the status quo. The Ministry of Defence issued a statement after it took note of some misinformed and misleading comments being spread in the media and the social media platforms as well regarding the disengagement currently underway at Pangong Tso Lake. The ministry reiterated that the factual position has already been clearly communicated by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in both houses of Parliament. The disengagement process between the Indian and Chinese armies began on Wednesday on both sides of Pangong Tso. In some other news now, the Supreme Court appointed committee on Friday held consultations with 12 farmer unions from 8 states on the 3 farm laws. This is the 7th meeting held by the panel so far. The 3-member committee is holding consultations with stakeholders both online and in person as well. The committee said all the participating farmer unions, the FPOs and farmers gave their detailed views and suggestions on the 3 laws. Remember, on the 12th of January, the Supreme Court had stayed the implementation of the farm laws for 2 months and asked the panel to submit a report within 2 months after consulting all stakeholders. In an unfortunate incident in Tamil Nadu, at least 11 people died and 36 were seriously injured in an explosion at a firecracker unit in Virudhunagar district on Friday. The incident happened while some chemicals were being mixed to produce fireworks, and soon after the explosion, 10 fire tenders were rushed to the spot to control the fire. At least 4 cracker-making sheds were destroyed, and further investigation into the mishap is underway. President Ramnath Kovind condoled the loss of lives in the fire incident and wished for a speedy recovery for all those injured. Also expressing grief over the incident, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that he is deeply anguished by the loss of lives. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed grief over the incident and announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees for the kin of the deceased from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. The Prime Minister also said 50,000 rupees will be given to those injured in the mishap. And in Uttarakhand, rescue and search operation for over 30 people trapped inside a tunnel continued for the 6th consecutive day. The relief work is being carried out by multiple agencies at the site of the NTPC hydro project at Tapovan on the Dhauli Ganga River and adjoining areas. The area, remember, was hit by flash floods on the 7th of February following a glacial burst in the Chamoli district. So far, 38 bodies have been recovered and 168 people are still reported to be missing. Meanwhile, with scientists spotting a new glacial lake near the Reni village, NDRF and SDRF teams have been sent to the spot to inspect it. Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora on Friday said that the assembly polls for Puducherry and Tamil Nadu will be held simultaneously. Briefing the media, he said that the Commission is committed to conduct a free, fair, inducement-free and COVID-19 safe elections. The Election Commission team was in Puducherry on a 2-day visit to review poll preparations. During the visit, the team held discussions with the officials of various departments, including the enforcement departments and state-level bankers committee, among others. The assembly polls are due in the states of Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala in the months of April and May.
With an interaction with the political parties. It was a sustained interaction. 10 political parties stroke entities met us, and the meeting lasted for a good 1.5 to 2 hours. After that, we had a meeting with their deputy commissioners, or what we call collectors in DMs.
According to government data released on Friday, retail inflation eased to 4.06% in January 2021 due to decline in vegetable prices. The inflation based on consumer price index was 4.59% in December 2020. The data released by the National Statistical Office revealed that the rate of price rise in the food basket was 1.89% in January, significantly down from 3.41% in the month of December. And India's industrial production turned positive and grew by 1% in December, as per the official index of industrial production data released on Friday. According to the IIP data, the manufacturing sector output grew by 1.6% in December 2020, while power generation grew 5.1% in December 2020. Mining output declined by 4.8%, and this comes after IIP had contracted by 1.9% in November. It had expanded in October and September after 6 straight months of contraction due to COVID-19. Nearly 78 lakh beneficiaries have been vaccinated for COVID-19 across the country so far. Of these, 58 lakh 65,000 are healthcare workers and over 19 lakh frontline workers who've been vaccinated until Friday. According to the Health Ministry, the vaccination for all healthcare workers is targeted by the 20th of February and the mop-up rounds will be completed by the 25th of this month. The second dose of COVID-19 vaccine will be administered from Saturday. Meanwhile, India's active COVID-19 cases have declined to 135,000, comprising now of only 1.25% of the total infections. India reported 9,309 new cases in the last 24 hours from different parts of the country, taking the COVID-19 tally to over 1 crore 8 lakh. Also, with 15,858 recoveries reported in the same period, the total recovered cases have crossed 1 crore 5 lakh. The national recovery rate has also further improved to 97.32%. 87 deaths were also reported from different parts of the country in the past 24 hours, and the total death toll now stands at 1,55,360. Talking about tests, over 7.65 lakh samples were tested on Thursday, and with this, India has tested more than 20 crore samples of coronavirus till date. The Mughal Gardens will be thrown open for public from the 13th of February, but only with prior online booking. Besides the Mughal Gardens, visitors will also be allowed in the Rashtrapati Bhavan and the Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum. Visitors will be able to witness the change of guard ceremony as well. The Mughal Gardens will be open from the 13th of February till the 21st of March. It will remain closed every Monday. The visiting hours for the public have been divided into 7 slots, each for an hour duration between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. The last entry will be at 4 p.m. A maximum of 100 visitors are allowed per slot. People below 10 years of age and above 65 years of age are not permitted to visit. Also, visitors need to strictly adhere to the COVID safety protocols set by the government. And before we leave, Rajya Sabha TV once again appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Maintain COVID-appropriate behavior, wear your face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes on our part to defeat the ongoing pandemic. Take care, good night, and thank you for your time.